Thanks, Tony. Again, very pleased with our team's effort and our execution this past Saturday. Got quite a few players in the game, played relatively clean from start to finish. There's always things to improve on, but also a lot to build on. So some good things happening. Obviously we've got to continue to do the things we've been doing well the last several weeks and improve on them. We have another big opportunity here for us this week to go on the road to Vanderbilt and take on a team that's playing extremely good football. Obviously a team that's very well coached in all phases and very physical. They play the game the right way with great energy, great emotion, and very tough, led by Clark Lee and his staff, and of course Diego Pavia. You can't say enough good things about that young man. He is one heck of a ball player, is tough as nails and makes plays when he has to. So it'll be a great challenge, but once again for us, as I've said each and every week throughout this season, it's about us. It's about our preparation. Continue to build on the good things and get better each and every week. So looking forward to getting started with the team this afternoon.
Will Saunders, I don't know how banged up he got when he was taking another game. Is that something that could linger?
Yeah, we'll see as the week goes on. I was very encouraged with seeing Khalil yesterday and talking to our trainers.
With the way that Diego extends plays, what kind of pressure does that put on the defense to not only do their assignment but to do it longer?
Well, it puts great pressure on the defense, and it doesn't matter what defense it is. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't any of it. He makes plays, and he does it in every game he plays in. So for us, again, great team defense, of course, but he's going to make some plays. We just have to make ours as well.
Do you think that last week's that quarterback kind of helps you get a good look before this matchup?
Yes and no. I think somebody's asked me that. We've played quarterbacks like that. It's impossible to totally just think you're going to just completely contain him. Watch every game he plays. He makes plays. We just have to make enough on top of it. Yes, we have to be very organized in our pass rush lanes and be very disciplined, play very hard, play all the way through the whistle, cover guys down the field. I think probably gets understated a little bit, because Pavia is such a good player and he ad-libs and makes plays off schedule, but their offensive line is extremely good as well. And they're very good across the board. You have to give credit to Jerry Kill, Tim Beck, and Pavia. They've been together, for about 4 years now, so they know the system. They know what they're doing. They could add and tweak to it all the time, do quite a bit of formations, a lot of different unbalanced, put a lot of different pressure on you. But it really, starts and ends with being physical, and they're a tough physical team.
Wasn't very happy with the defensive performance immediately after the game Saturday. What did you see on film, and especially those guys who are kind of filling in larger roles?
Yeah, I think there's ways we could finish better. There's things, plays out there where we just didn't finish the plays. If we finished the plays, we finished the series and give up less points than we did. So there's a lot of things we could do better across the board in execution. I appreciate our team's effort. The past, they've been playing well, but there's things we could have done better.
Marcus, you did have, I think, 4 new defensive starters. How did those guys in particular do?
Yeah, they played well. A lot of confidence in those guys. They've played a lot of football for us, so we trust them going into it. It starts trickling down to your depth, of course, but good players. I think one guy that stood out, that played a very good game would be Cam. Cam played really well. But again, he's played a lot. So.
Mark, you said after the game you were considering redshirting this year. How complicated are those decisions right now, given the depth of that position and Tarian and DJ being out?
Yeah, it's Yeah, we will see where it goes. And, you know, a lot of our players are very unselfish and do what we ask them to do or what they want to do to help the team down the stretch. So we'll manage it this week.
Mark, the way Tennessee Tech's quarterback played as mobile as he was, does that help you at all prepare for Bobby? I know you've already played against Bobby before.
Dick, you weren't paying attention at the beginning of this press conference. Caught you slipping. I've already answered that. I'm teasing, buddy. No, as I said, in some ways it does, you know, but in others, you know, when plays break down, there's no coaching that, you know, on either side. There is, as far as plastering, finishing coverage, finishing rushes, you know, of course you could coach and build on that, but when these quarterbacks create, man, they just create. And the things that Diego does, you know, that's, again, you've heard me say it many times, but that's between him and God.
Their traditional run game seems much more effective this year. Have you just seen them grow in that area?
Well, they've always done a lot. You know, they do a lot. They are very good. They could create many different sets, like with the unbalanced sets. You know, they could do a lot of different things. Of course, you got a quarterback that can run. They put stress on you. Again, I give them credit because a lot of it is dressed up and everything, but it comes, you know, the root of it is being physical. They're a physical football team. Very, very good at the offensive line, very good at running back, very unselfish. They block extremely well on the perimeter. Running backs block very well, so just good. And multiple.
You mentioned the unbalanced sets. You've all been implementing more of those. How do you like the way your running game has expanded?
Yeah, I think, you know, we've done a nice job of, you know, when we get the balance, we could put pressure on teams as well, you know, with the receivers stepping up and making big plays down the field and being able to run the ball. It could create some opportunities.
How just encouraging is it to see that wide receiver room really kind of, I know Cutter gets a lot of the spotlight, but they've seemingly taken steps every week this season.
Yeah, without a doubt, extremely important, you know, especially the young guys, and you know, but they're playing really good as a group. So, you know, really pleased with their effort.
Now that bowl eligibility is on the line, is that something that will be discussed with the team? And
No. One game at a time. We're worried about trying to go 1-0 here this week, you know, so no, there's no point in talking about that. We acknowledge the importance of it, but what does it matter if we don't take care of business this week? You know, so it's about us just handling our business here this week.
Well, going back to the receivers, just in the progression they've made, how much credit is that to Coach Washington and what he's done in their development?
You know, without a doubt, you know, LD's done a remarkable job. He really has. He does a great job in recruiting. He handles the room extremely well. They've been very unselfish, and they're getting better. They're developing. You know, I mentioned the group. I didn't probably single out when you asked me the question before, but you know, Kendrick, of course, you know, really stood out in this last game. Just exceptional. You know, and he kind of, you know, he's one of those guys that sets the tone because he's very unselfish. He'll block. He'll do anything you ask him to do. He's the first one down on a gunner on punt team. I mean, that guy would play anything. He'd play every snap. He's strong. He's physical. He's unselfish, and he's playing at a very high level, you know, at receiver.
Mark, what have you seen in terms of development from Malachi Wood this year?
Yeah, he's definitely on track, definitely getting better, working extremely hard. You know, as I mentioned in here maybe a few weeks ago, I mean, even if he's not getting all the game reps, we're coaching the heck out of him and getting a ton of reps on the field and getting better.
Mark, it seems like, and I don't think you've answered this one.
I'm paying attention now.
Wait.
No, but you talked about how physical Vandy is.
Their offensive line, it feels like
Their defense is kind of
underappreciated, undervalued, but they've been
Yeah.
as good as any.
No, without a doubt. I mean, when you talk about a physical football team, you're certainly including their defense, and very disruptive, very multiple. You know, they can do a lot of things. They'll dabble in the 3 down, like us. They'll get the 4 down. Many different pressures. They're not afraid to bring a lot of pressure. So they can be very aggressive when they want to be. Very good.
There's not much to know about Kendrick with his raw speed, but you mentioned at postgame just how strong he is. Do you think that's a really kind of underrated characteristic about a lot of people maybe they don't think about it much because they focus so much on speed?
Well, I'm not sure, in the media or the public or things like that, I'm quite sure opposing coaches and teams recognize it, and we certainly do, because he's as I mentioned, he's very strong. He plays very physical, and he's been extremely durable. He's just a guy that could, he'll do anything we ask him to do. I'm not sure I couldn't put him out there and let him, he'd be damn good safety with not much practice, so.
Mark, in a game like this, Vanderbilt can play, the games can go a little slower, shorten possessions.
Yeah.
How important is it just clean game?
Extremely important. That was the difference last year. I mean, it goes fast. They possess the ball. They're very good in short yardage. They're very creative. They're physical and they're creative. And they control the football. We did last year. There's many things. But a penalty at the wrong time and a turnover or things like that, and the game's away from you in a hurry because they can control the ball, and they're hard to get off the field, and I give them credit because they're one of those teams that, just like the other day, when they need to score a lot of points, they can. They're throwing it much more effectively this year than they ever have. So they're very good.
What kind of challenges does the tight end present, particularly for your linebackers?
Yeah, Eli, he's the best, I guess, I would think. I haven't seen them all, but arguably the best tight end in the game, this year. And he's a guy that's makes tough catches, again, very unselfish. They have playmakers across the board, but, when the game's on the line or a critical play, you could, he's a good target because he's very reliable, and he's a tough matchup.
How does that just stress the guys who have to run support, but also?
Yeah, I think, we have to play our rules, and you have to win one-on-ones. He's a guy that has the length. He knows he has the body control. Diego throws it in good spots for him, so he can body you out. But you gotta try to win. You can't necessarily always put 2 on him or things like that. You have to play within the system and play your rules, and you have to make competitive plays.
Coach, a little thin in the secondary. Talk a little bit about the performance of Cam Dooley, obviously a blue chip recruit coming out of high school, but I think this is his first start and he pops up with an interception.
Yeah, again, as I mentioned, you're back there sleeping today too. But you guys call me out, I'm going to call you out now. All right, so fair, right? Fair. No, I could see you're with TV, so you want a clip. I got you. But Cam is a very good player, and he's a guy that's gotten a lot of reps this year. He was definitely our third safety, so we consider him almost like a starter. I know with the other 2 playing very well, maybe didn't get a ton of reps, but a guy when he slid into there, we felt confident, and sure enough, he went and performed. Played very well. Had a very physical play, caused a fumble, had the interception, of course, and was reliable throughout the game.
How have you felt about that position as a whole? Like, they were pretty upfront that last year was not the season they wanted to have, the safeties. How have those guys, even before Jordan got hurt, kind of played?
Yeah, very, very good, and I thought they settled in. I think early in the year it goes to that, we talk about they maybe pushing, pressing too much. They care, they've worked really hard, maybe trying to do too much. But settled in and really played very well.
Have you had a chance to talk to Cutter about his touchdown run since the post game? It seemed to juice up his teammates.
No, I didn't. I haven't talked to him. I saw him yesterday. He was in the building yesterday. And I saw him, and he wasn't getting ice on his shoulder, so he looked fine. So we'll see.
Can you, I know you've been pretty adamant throughout the year about how this team always shows up on Mondays ready to go, but does it feel different when you've rattled off 3 wins in a row?
There's no question. that doesn't mean it's just going to happen, though, right? I mean, yes, but yeah, it definitely helps. I said that after the first one, because you want that for the team because they've been investing, they're working hard, their bodies are beat up, and they're just hurting, they're tired, they're and have worked really hard for a long period of time, and we've got to go, so hopefully the wins will help them, give them a little extra juice and a little extra motivation to get their butt in bed an hour or two early and get treatment and just get prepared for the past for the last 2 weeks that are big games for us.
Mark, do you see any parallels between what Vanderbilt's doing this year and what you guys did in 2018-21 and add those big seasons?
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, I mean, you could see that. I think last year, first bowl game in a while, win, of course, and certainly built on that. I think 7-6 last year, and certainly better already this year. Give them credit for SEC wins already this year, is impressive, and they've looked good even in the losses they've had. They looked very good. I thought it was a really impressive game with Alabama in particular, but certainly building on that. And yeah, I know how hard it is. Hopefully I know for Clark and his team, they're looking at it one at a time, and I know he is, and I'm sure they're wanting more. And I know how hard it is to get 10 at a place like that. When you come into the league and whatever rung you're in, whatever spot you're in, gaining on teams is quite challenging because nobody is interested in this league and going backwards. It's very hard, and everybody does an excellent job with recruiting. You're playing good people every week.
Mark, what was your analysis of Grant Godfrey, his first start?
Yeah, Grant has been steadily getting better. He's a reliable guy. He cares. He practices right and getting better with every opportunity.
Is there any kind of update on the foreign?
No, not at this time. Not at this time. I do hope he can play this week, but we will see.
Everybody good?
Mark, you catch Josh breaking the Jaguars record for sacks yesterday.
Pardon me?
Josh,
Broke the Jaguar sacks record yesterday.
Oh, did he? I shot a video for him. I was waiting for him to. Shot a video. Congratulate him. Did you release that from me, I hope? They did? Okay, good. Well, does not surprise me. We anticipated that, and, you can't say enough good things about Josh. Unbelievable human being, the way he kind of came in here and set the tone, certainly during my era of, not only being a great player, but doing things right and being a tremendous leader. And I said it when he was, coming out of the draft. I mean, he's a franchise player. He's a guy that, you want on your franchise. And sure enough, to be the all-time sack leader at a place is not easy. And congratulations. We love him, and does not surprise us.
Does that continue to help when you go out and recruit, you can
Sure.
point to a situation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And whenever Josh's around, he's always, wanting to give help and input and influence guys any way he can, whether it's just talking to the team, talking to the group. He's always willing and always has time, and he's always around. So, he's had a big impact on our program, and he continues to.
Your edge position, I know you lost Sam last week, but it feels like you have a pretty good young core. What's the kind of key for them to take, steps forward?
Yeah, I think it's a good group, and we have a mixture, a little balance of some guys, some really fast guys, maybe a little smaller, but really quick, and then some guys that are your prototypical edge guys that can grow into that type of player, and so there's a good nucleus of guys. Again, I hope you don't get sick of me saying that because I like saying it, but they're really good kids. They care. They work hard. They want to be great. They want to help the team. They want to do whatever they can do. And, you love having guys like that.
Mark, along those lines, the stories kind of trickle out now about the effect NIL dollars have had on some players scattered across the country, and yet we've heard this all year, and we've seen it for ourselves. These kids like each other, they like being here, and they like doing what you guys are doing. What does that mean to you as a head coach? To make your job a little bit easier, I gotta think.
Well, definitely puts a smile on your face. And, you know, when you're dealing with all the external things, like, that's not the happy place for coaches. I think everybody will tell you that. You know, every coach that's, you know, going to be a head coach or in this league is a ball coach first, and want to spend your time coaching ball and developing young men in all areas. And the other stuff is what it is. And, you know, I'll never say, you know, for, you know, going back to, you know, that, and just get the record straight, since we're having a nice conversation in here today. But, like, I've never been anti anything. Like, I want to pay the players. The portal should help us. It does. I just want money. You know, money to spend on them. Make sense? You know what I mean? Like, it's good for us. It's just anything in the past maybe was a way to shake some trees to see if some money will fall off. You know what I mean? Because more money, you're able to buy, you know, you're able to retain the players that deserve that money, and you're able to fill spots. Let's just call it the way it is now. Like I've told you in here a couple times before, I mean, it was uncomfortable talking about that in 2001, 2002. And, you know, you don't want to sit here and say, hey, man, I mean, I don't have any money. You know what I mean? I don't have enough money. You know what I mean? But, like, first of all, and another thing, nobody cares. It's not an excuse. It's over with. I'm done with it. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of factual. You know, make sense? So please don't misquote me on that. We're having a good conversation. You know, sometimes people take a little thing and say, well, he's crying about it again. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm, like, glad we're trying to move past it. You know, so.
But how important is that for retention, right? Because I think most people just think about it as acquisitions, but how important is just the dollar figure to keep players?
It's absolutely huge. It's what's most important. Let's keep the ones that, you know, like, the fans want to see these young men that I'm bragging on, that are good kids, that are playing their hearts out, win or you know what I mean, through good times and bad. Those are the ones we want to start with, right? And that retention is huge, to have the dollars to keep them.
The coming recruiting cycle is really the first one under this new system. Is Kentucky where it needs to be, both in terms of the revenue share and the quote-unquote legitimate NIL deals to supplement that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to give any headline on that right now. We have good momentum, and we're really doing things, and we're working the best we can. You know, it's very complicated on how you can spread that money around. And so, you know, I think you know, I've mentioned it before. I'm on the record. I thought it helped us in recruiting, you know, with the guys we have locked in. You know, we need to retain, and then we have to have some money to get some free agents, you know, so we're working through that as hard as we can.
Mark, just on this note of what we're talking about, you know, this clip from Kirby Smart that went viral after they went to Tokyo. You know, all the kids want to check, but they don't want the physicality when they get here.
I didn't see anything about that. I'm a little off social media right now, but fill me in on it.
When you're going into recruiting these guys, whether they're out of the portal, out of high school, how do you figure out which ones are just about the money versus which ones want to come here and actually hit and play?
Yeah, I think it's fair till you get it in here and see. You try to vet it as best as possible. You try to get ultra competitive young men, and you know, you want to keep them here at a price that they want to, like, kind of continue to work hard to elevate. You know, in the past, I don't, you know, I'm going back many years, but, like, I've had players, it's like, you know, are you, you know, ready? I'm just picking out a position. Are you ready to start at this position? And no, sir, you know, I'm not. I'm like, well, then why are you leaving? You know what I mean? Then why are you leaving? Just stay here and develop like we've done, you know what I mean, for a long time. But it's easier to say, nah, well, I'll go to some lower place and play. It's just kind of the way it is. It's all right, Tony. I'm not gonna get trapped. I'm all right.
This is the first year, though, where the portal's not opening, like, as soon as the season ends. It's going to be January.
Yeah.
But, I mean, is there still going to be portal stuff leading up to that? Like, how do you anticipate that working out?
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, you see it. You're going to see it. You know, kids are like, I'm going in or whatever. Like that won't stop young men from declaring. I think it is good to let you get your feet on the ground. You know what I mean? And you know, get your roster, straightened out here. Get the retention, get the meetings with your players, and get a plan for your own team, and then move on to the portal.
Coach,
And I also think this is the first year since, the first year since I've been coaching, and it's been a long time. I'm an old son of a gun, as you know, but like going back to my assistant days and everything, you're used to getting done with the season, getting right on the road. Maybe I said that last year. Did they delay it a week last year or something? I don't remember. I think they maybe delayed it, but was December dead? It's running together with me right now. But December dead and the portal backed up a little bit should help a little bit. Kind of just meet with your team, meet with your players, and have those good conversations and make sure everybody's on the same page.
Mark, you mentioned the fans, and usually when Kentucky plays at Vandy, half the stadium's blue. But now, in the last couple of years, Vandy fans have shown up, and you go down to Auburn and beat them in front of 80,000 hostiles, but still, that's going to be a little odd, isn't it?
Well, I'm sure, I haven't been there since this stadium's been complete as well, right? So I know they were doing the renovations and everything, and with the program and what Clark has done, it doesn't surprise me. So I'm sure it'll be another great environment, and they've worked really hard and invested a lot to make it that way. You could tell just by watching the games that it is fun, and it's always a challenge, going on the road, to an SEC stadium.
All right, folks. Thank you very much.
Thank you.